I have invested $1,000 into my M1 Finance portfolio, and I've also been using the platform for over 2 to 3 months. And in this video, I'm gonna show you why M1 Finance is great for dividend investing. Watch till the end of the video to find out why. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Bruce Wang. I'm a dividend investor and also a real estate investor, and that is what this channel is all about. In today's episode, I'm gonna go over my M1 Finance portfolio and tell you guys why I love the platform and why I'm gonna stick with it, and exactly why I'm gonna be investing more money into this platform. If you wanna join M1 Finance or go over any of the links from this video, go check it out in the description, and let's jump right into my portfolio. This is my portfolio, and I have finally hit the $1,000 value mark. My actual portfolio is worth $1,014.61. I know it's not much, but you gotta celebrate those little milestones in life, and that is what I have going for me in this video. I've consistently deposited $100 every single week for the past few months or so, but as you can see, I started this in March 13, 2019. The best thing about M1 Finance is you can start with a really small amount, like $1,000, and have a very complete portfolio. So let's take a look at some of the gains that I had here. So ever since I started investing, I've already made $3 in dividends, not too bad. And my total return is about 2%. I would like to say I'm a more conservative investor when it comes to this M1 Finance portfolio. And the way I set this up, this entire pie, I have all these individual little slices, and each of these slices represent a sector in the stock market. The highest weighted sector that I have is real estate. Real estate is what I know and what I trust, and that is why I'm heavily invested in real estate. If you guys want to see my portfolio, again, the links are gonna be in the description. One thing I wanna say about my portfolio is that I don't want you guys to go copying it, because my risk tolerance is not gonna be the same as your risk tolerance. I'm more conservative, and you guys might be more risky, or you might think that I'm not conservative at all. So when you're designing your own portfolio, make sure you take that into account. So my portfolio has stayed relatively the same ever since I set it up properly, like maybe 1 or 2 weeks ago. So you guys can go check out this video here to see exactly how I set up this portfolio. But what I want to show you today is actually in the activities section here. So two great things about M1 Finance is that you can buy fractional shares, which is why that portfolio is set up the way it is. And the second thing is the dividend reinvesting. So I recently received a dividend over the past week, and with that dividend, it got reinvested automatically for me. I didn't have to go in and adjust it and buy a certain stock myself. That's one great thing I like about it, and I save a lot of time with that. Like in my Robinhood portfolio, I always have to check it. I always have to make sure the dividends are coming in, and I always have to rebuy whatever I need to rebuy at that time. And that's the one thing I don't like about Robinhood. When I first started out with $100, $200, $300, there wasn't that much dividends to be reinvested. But now that I hit the $1,000 mark, I think that this account will start to move a lot faster. And I'm actually planning to put in a lot more money into here, maybe a few $100s extra every single week or so. So this account will start moving a lot faster. So really quickly, I will show you my holdings. My biggest holding right now is actually a bond ETF, Vanguard Total Bond Market. I invest in this because I don't like seeing too much volatility within my portfolio, and investing in bonds is a great way for me to counteract that volatility. The second biggest holding in my portfolio is Realty Income Corporation. This REIT, it's in the real estate sector. This REIT also pays me monthly dividends, and I reinvest everything that comes out of there. Moving down the portfolio, you can see that I own a lot of blue chip stocks, AT&T, IBM, 3M. All these stocks are well-known companies, and they've been around for a long time. And I don't see these companies not being here in the near future, so that's why I invested in them, and all of them pay a nice dividend. So the total holdings here is only 49 holdings. I'm not trying to own every single stock in the entire stock market. I'm trying to keep this portfolio as tight as I can. And 49 is pretty good for the amount of money that I have in the portfolio right now. But if I wanted to, M1 Finance will let me create 100 slices for this entire portfolio. And I don't know why anyone would want to do that, but that option is there for you to do that. So the number of holdings there can go a long way, which I don't know why anyone would need that many holdings in their portfolio, but to each their own. When it comes to the funding part of this portfolio, I keep it really simple. I just deposit $100 every single week. I'm going to eventually up the amount, but right now I have the money coming in every single Tuesday, and you can see the schedule here. So you can see the recent transfer histories here. I'm depositing $100. If I did not set the bank transfers on auto, I don't think that I would be as consistent as I am. And that really makes me accountable for myself to make sure that I'm investing for my future, basically. And if it wasn't for that automatic deposit feature, I would have probably spent all this money on going out to eat or buying some more clothes or something like that. This is another look at the Wang Gang portfolio. I'm holding 49 stocks here. The dividend yield is a respectable 4% dividend yield on this portfolio. So what does that mean? That means if I invested $10,000 into my portfolio, by the end of the year, I'll have $400 worth in dividends. But that does not account for all of the dividends reinvested and the compounding effect that I would have because I set everything up properly on my M1 Finance portfolio. So if it did account for that, I would make a lot more when it comes to the dividend yield. Also, one of the highlights of my portfolio is Dogs of the Dow. I found out about this dividend investing strategy just recently, probably within the last 2 months, 3 months. And when I first heard about this, I immediately started to create this portfolio and started to invest in it. Basically, the Dogs of the Dow dividend strategy has beaten the Dow Jones Industrial Average on most years when it comes to returns. I'm not saying that it will beat it every single year, but historically speaking, this has outperformed the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So this is holding right now, 10 holdings. So all of these stocks are from the Dow Jones, and the strategy is very simple. So if you want to go figure out that strategy, you can go check out the card here or go check out one of the links in the description. So when I was doing my research for M1 Finance, I wanted to find out as much information about the platform. I wanted to find out what are the good parts about M1 Finance, what are the bad parts. And basically the bad parts about M1 Finance is that if you're a day trader, swing trader, M1 Finance is not going to be for you because M1 Finance has like a one-time trading window where they only do like a one trade every single day. And if you're trying to do like multiple trades a day, that's just not going to work, obviously. So M1 Finance is a lot better for anyone who is trying to buy and hold for a longer time frame than that. So if you are enjoying the video right now, don't forget to leave me a like if you haven't hit the like button yet, and we can get into the M1 Finance subreddit. So this is where I find a lot of more detailed information when it comes to M1 Finance because on the platform, there's only so much information there. And when it comes to the subreddit, and we take a look at the moderators here, you can find the actual M1 founder and CEO. He actually posts every now and then, and we have 2 of their employees here. So these guys come into the subreddit, answer a bunch of questions, and they help fix some issues, especially if there's like a bug. You can see here that this post is about a bug. So if you guys didn't know already, M1 Finance is actually still kind of a startup. They've only been around for like 2 to 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. I think they started in like 2015 or 16, I believe. So that brings me to the next part of the video here. I was doing a little bit of lurking on the subreddit and I found this post. This is a very interesting infographic that I found and I want to show you guys. I want to highlight some of the crazy things that this M1 Finance brokerage has done over the past few years that they've been open. So this was submitted about 6 months ago, so this is kind of old. So wow, it's been quite the year at M1 Finance. 1 year since we cut fees and went free, M1 has grown exponentially, even faster than we'd hoped. Thanks to investors like you, we've introduced new features and have even more in the works for 2019. But before we get there, let's take a look at some of the fun stats from the last year. 285,000 unique pies created. I'm telling you, on M1 Finance, you can create a lot of pies here. 6,400 unique stocks or funds owned by M1 customers, 850,000 free automated trades per day over the last month. Most popular stocks and funds. So this is something that was kind of eye-opening to me. VOO is actually one of the top stocks here in M1 Finance, and that goes to show you that I think M1 Finance, they have a lot more mature investors in there. And compared to Robinhood's top 5, top 10 stocks, I made a video about that a while ago. And These top 5 is a lot better than Robinhood's top 5, in my opinion. Let's take a look at this one here. M1 more than quadruples in size over the last year. The number of people who use M1 and our assets under management have increased by more than 4 times. Geez, that's fast. Customers add more money to M1 quickly after kicking the tires. So here's the average account balance for all users over their first 4 months. So on the first day, a lot of people tested out with like around $1,000. In the second week, they started investing more and more and more. And this is the trajectory that I'm looking at. So for me, it takes me a lot longer to test out a platform than just 2-3 weeks. So I tested out for over 3 weeks now, and now I'm gonna start piling in a lot more money so this compounding of my dividends can start working a lot faster for me. So this is what I was talking about earlier, the autopilot of investing. I'm telling you, once you start doing like automated investing, it really helps out like your psychology, your mindset and everything. It just makes everything a lot easier, less friction as you would call it. And let's see, M1 customers know the value of automation when it comes to building wealth. When reoccurring deposits, investors just set a schedule to suit their needs and watch their accounts grow. 30% of those investing use automated deposits, which also includes me, with an average of 308 each and every single month. So for myself, I'm averaging $400 every single month. So I'm doing a little bit better than the average here. So this is pretty crazy. 100 million in account transfers. So these are a lot of the more bigger brokerages out there. You know, Capital One, Vanguard. I'm still using Vanguard as well. I have my Roth IRA set up in Vanguard, and I always try to fill up that account as fast as possible to get the max contribution. I'm not planning to switch over my Vanguard as of yet, but I'm gonna have just my individual account, individual investment account on M1 Finance for now. TD Ameritrade is something that I've looked into as well. I've opened an account, and the one thing about TD Ameritrade is that since I'm like such a small time investor when it comes to stocks, and their commissions on trade would just eat up a lot of the money that I put in, because I don't put in that much and I don't do that much trading. I'm not investing multiple thousands of dollars every single month or so. So I don't think TD Ameritrade was the right fit for me. E-Trade is very popular as well, and Fidelity, and obviously Robinhood is there too. I think Robinhood is the biggest competitor to M1 Finance because both platforms have no commissions, and both platforms are targeting millennials specifically. So for the next segment in this video, I kind of want to go over some of the things that the M1 Finance CEO has said himself. So this gives me a lot of reassurance when it comes to putting my money, hard-earned money, into their platform and their system here. And just some of the things, I don't want to read it all to you, I just want to highlight some of the things that he said. So when it comes to this post, I'm just going to summarize it up really quick for you. This one guy, he is starting to plan and considering putting a lot of money into M1 Finance, and he kind of just threw out this question out there into the Reddit universe. And actually the M1 founder and CEO responded to this question. So it's really surprising. This is actually one of the top posts on M1 Finance subreddit. So I thought this was really interesting. Our money that we invest into the platform is insured in case anything ever happens to M1 Finance, like they go under or something like that. According to the CEO, assets are covered by SIPC up to 500,000, 250, which can be cash. This is a really big assurance, especially if you're a customer of M1 Finance. And I don't have $500,000 to invest in M1 Finance, but when I do get there, I'll be happy to just cap out at 500,000. The likely scenario of an unlikely insolvency is you transfer your assets to another brokerage and get paid for doing so. Your assets are safe, and the bad case for the M1 business is you'd be unable to use the M1 platform anymore. This really clears up a lot of the confusion for me, because I wasn't so sure like how much I could actually put into M1 Finance before like something crazy happens, if something crazy happens. And now I know that my investments in M1 Finance is insured and is safe. That is really big when it comes to the long-term success of the portfolio and the company itself. And if you'd enjoy the video, don't forget to leave me a like. And I come out with 3 videos every single week, so don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification. I love you 3000, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.